Diane and Denmark here, rah rah rah, it is Tuesday. Let me get the pom-poms down and get the timer started. A shorter video for you today, yeah, timer's running. Yesterday I was in zone 5 in the living room and I was showing you how I do a detailed clean of the living room. Now remember, when you see those videos of me doing a detailed clean, I'm setting the timer for 15 minutes, doing as much as I can, and generally the way that I do my zone cleaning is I do a 15-minute session at the beginning of the week, and then the rest of the week I spend a few minutes here and there doing something else from the list. Now that really works for me because I have really decluttered a lot. If you haven't decluttered your stuff, it's going to be difficult for you to clean because you're kind of having to move things all the time. So stick with your decluttering if you're just new with the Flylady system or whatever system you're using, and just stick with weekly home blessing hour until you get to that point where you feel a bit more balanced and a bit more energy to do it. So don't worry about zone cleaning unless you're at that stage. Anyway, today, Tuesday in Flylady land, as I like to call it, is plan and play day, desk day. And I thought about that this morning. I'm going to stop calling it plan and play day. We're not using the whole day to plan things. Now I've gone over all the daily focus items before, errand day, plan and play, weekly home blessing hour. They're all in a playlist, and when I go like that, that means you can touch on the screen up here and the playlist will come up. I've done detailed videos about that. But today is Tuesday, and what I'll be doing, remember you do your own thing, but this is how I do it. I set my timer for 15 minutes, grab a cup of coffee or a cup of chai or a glass of water, and I sit down with my diary and with my notes, and I look ahead to see what's coming towards me. Now that could be graduation parties. There's lots going on here right now, and instead in the old days I would kind of get overwhelmed and but now, and just by sitting down and knowing what's coming up, you can plan it. Like for example, maybe you're invited to a wedding. And your husband suddenly has to wear a suit that he hasn't worn for ages. Do you have to take that to the dry cleaners? You're going to a graduation party. Do you need to take a gift? You're going to somebody who's moving out of state and they've invited you to potluck. What are you going to take with you? Just that very fact of knowing what's coming up, it really takes the pressure off. And then hopefully you're noting it down. What's the next action step that you need to take? Whether it's buying a gift or going to the dry cleaners. I went through the getting things done list system. That's also a playlist. So just let's kind of chop it up into manageable chunks so we can deal with it instead of this. That's kind of not knowing what's coming up. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Also, you may want to plan your menu for the week. I've moved that to the weekend now, but what I do is I look in the fridge, I look in the freezer, check what I've got in the pantry. We discuss as a family what's coming up for the next week, who's cooking what, and I add it to my grocery list. So that is ready to go. And what else? Oh yeah, and I know what else I was going to say to you. We are in zone 5 this week, thank for the Flylady system. And I mentioned to you that I have started at the beginning of the month. I came up with zones for the garden, for yard work. And I'll do a little roundup next week when we're into zone 1, when we're kind of been through all the zones. And I just made some general ideas of what I could do in each zone. And I have to say to you, I've got so much done this month in the garden, and it's the very fact of having it down on a list, like with the getting things done thing. I've really subconsciously had an idea of what needed done in each zone. And I've really done a lot. I've been painting stonework. I got the iron work on one of the decks that we have. We have a round deck. I don't think you've seen that one. And it's got stonework and it's got round railings. And I finished painting the ironwork on that. I'm hoping to get the stonework finished this week, weather permitting. And I've just really done lots just by having, you know, set my timer saying, okay, 15 minutes, what's on the list? So anyway, we'll do a wee update about that next month. And the other thing for today, let me check my list. Yeah, I need to write these things down or else I would forget it. We are on today, well, let me just check what day it is. Is it 27th? It must be the 28th, yeah, because it was on my friend's birthdays yesterday. Where are we? Yeah, it's the 28th. Yeah, you know that I have a friend in Scotland who I went to school with, who I'm still in touch with on Facebook. And I always remember it's her birthday, you know, on the 27th of May. It's funny how these things, you know, I haven't seen her physically for 30 years, maybe, but still in touch on Facebook. Yeah, today is the 28th of May. Hooray, go us. And all this month of May, I've been checking in with you every single day about our Moving in May challenge. You know, the Flylady Moving in May thing is just thinking every day, you know, how can we get a wee bit movement into our day? Just being mindful of it. And instead of parking right beside the supermarket, parking a wee bit away so that we get a few extra steps, you know, when we're pushing that trolley. And I didn't go for a run yesterday. I generally don't go for a run on Mondays because Mondays is usually the day that I do my weekly home blessing hour, which is a really good workout if you haven't tried that before. And I checked this morning for my steps, and my steps for yesterday were 13,000 steps. So go me for that. So I did my weekly home blessing hour, and you don't have to have a Fitbit. I'm not a step counter. And I don't kind of check my steps every day, but I do like the function on the, I've got a Flex 2 Fitbit, this is the very cheap one. But I do like the function where you can set it so it kind of buzzes if you haven't, you know, got enough steps during the hour. I am sitting writing a lot, so I like the fact that, you know, often, you know, I'll set my timer for I start writing, but, you know, it'll just nudge me into, oh, you know, I haven't moved for a while, and then I, you know, go and walk up and down steps or walk around the house just to get moving again, so I'm not, you know, getting stuck on my bahookie to the chair. And the other thing that I did yesterday for my exercise was I cycled down to the sea with my bestie Vibeke, and hold on, I'll show you the pictures. Okay, these I post a lot on Instagram. I don't know if you're on Instagram, but I post a lot of extra stuff, you know, about the Danish language and life in the village here. Let me see. Oh, and also you'll see my shiny sink picture at the end of the day, and my outfit for the day. Oh, and that was yesterday because we have liljekonvalje or demugi, which are blooming in our garden right now. Hold on. Right, let me get back to the post from yesterday. And this was me showing you lunch yesterday when we were down for a skinny dip. Here we are. So I post a little picture, you know, when we've been down for our swim, or if I've been out for a run, that kind of thing. And the bike ride is about 10 or 12 minutes down there, and the same on the way back, depending on how much wind and rain there is. But yesterday it wasn't bad, it was quite blustery, but anyway, the sun came out from time to time. So that was my exercise for yesterday. I hope you're really going strong with your exercise. We're on the 28th of May, we're almost at the end of the month, so keep going. And remember, if you are having a day where the exercise just isn't happening, use one of your get out of jail free cards. I talked about this on the first day of the challenge, 1st of May. You can go through the playlist for kind of health and exercise is up there. You can scroll back and see what it is. We really have to be kind to ourselves and not, you know, set these really lofty goals, because the problem is when we have those goals that are you know, so high that we kind of get discouraged before we even start. So keep it small, just doing a quick walk around the block. Set your timer for 5 minutes and get out there, and, you know, 5 minutes back home again. That's the way I do my running. Anyway, and I need to get going, so I'm going to love you and leave you. And tomorrow is Wednesday, which is Anti-Procrastination Day. And I think that's it. Anyway, mixed weather here again. But you know what I say, we always make our own sunshine. That's where I'm wearing pink today. I don't know if you can see, it doesn't always pick up on camera, my lipstick colour. I don't use any kind of extra lighting, but anyway, I'm all in the pink today. So anyway, live long and prosper. May the Danish sugar be with you. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Just set your timer and do a wee bit. Just keep moving forward, putting one foot in front of the other, and everything will be all right. Anyway, that's it for me, and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.